Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Well, today's article has to do with negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. And the issue is that they point fingers at one another and say, okay, they don't want to negotiate. Oh, no, they don't want to negotiate. Well, we want to negotiate. We don't want to negotiate. Okay. So I have an article here. I want to talk about the idea of, oh, they don't want to negotiate. Oh, no, they don't want to negotiate. And see in what circumstances you negotiate, in what circumstances you refuse to negotiate or give up the idea of negotiating with that person or that entity. This article comes from Republic World from today, June 9th, 2022, and this is the title, Russia Unwilling to Negotiate to End Ongoing War, Zelensky. So Zelensky says, they don't want to negotiate to end the war. Their fault. Okay, I will start by this. It's not about negotiating. You can negotiate, but if you start with some non-starters, then what's the purpose of meeting, right? So let's see what's going on here. What the president of the nation of Ukraine says. Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russia is unwilling to negotiate an end to the war because it still feels strong. That's true. That's one reason. Zelensky told US corporate leaders Wednesday that for Russia to join in negotiations, and I'm quoting, is simply not possible now because Russia can still feel its power. End quote. Oh, I thought they're losing over and over again. The mass media, these guys are not doing what they're supposed to. The Ukrainians are winning. Probably they are. Actually, they've stopped, but I will talk about it later. Speaking via a video link through a translator, he said, and I'm quoting, we need to weaken Russia and the world is supposed to do it. What do you say it's supposed to do? Who are you, God? To tell what's supposed to and what's not supposed to? And again, the blame game. All right. Now the guilt building tactics. The world is supposed to. Maybe not. Maybe some people have a different, set of facts that would really change the whole supposed to. All right, and because you were supposed to do certain things from 2014, did ya or don't ya? Okay, Zelensky said Ukraine is doing its part on the battlefield and called for even tougher sanctions to weaken Russians economically. It's doing its part. That means not you. Some Russians are dying because some of the people made a decision to get to this point. Russians and Ukrainians and from foreign areas. So those guys who are dying over there, those are, like always been, the ones who are just, whatever you want to call them, unfortunately. Um, he told the business leaders, and I'm quoting, we need to switch Russia off the global financial system completely. Again, this guy talks like he's the center of the universe, and he was made to be the center of the universe by those guys who are the center of the universe in their heads. He also said Ukraine is willing to negotiate with Russia to end the war, but, and I'm quoting, not at the expense of our independence. There you have it. So how are you going to negotiate? So let's start with this. When you negotiate with a person, you have to trust the other person or entity that person will follow through with whatever it's been decided, correct? After the negotiation. So if I say we made this agree with this little paper here, the requirements, the peace treaty, whatever it's over there, the stipulations, I sign, you sign, stamp, blood, good, right? Blood like that. All right, good. Then you and we have to follow through because you put deadlines. By this date, it should be this, it should be this. You put deadlines like, oh, we're going to do this in 3045, year 3045. Not like that. So that's how it goes. Now, if one of the parts does not do that, or both parts, then that thing is garbage. It's zero. It's no value anymore. There's no value if you don't have an arbiter that could come, intervene, and say, hey, guys, you got to do it. Take them by the hair, knock their heads, and say, you go and do it now. And you don't have that because Ukraine is supported by the arbiter, and the other ones are too strong to be taken by the arbiter. So there you have it. This is the arbitrar's guy, and this is not the arbitrar's guy, but it's too strong to grab him by the head so they can knock their heads. Now, if this happens one time, okay, maybe it was a mistake. Some unforeseen events changed the course of, you couldn't implement it. You know where I'm going with this, with implementation, right? And then what if that happens more than one time? This happens the second time. And the second time, your negotiating partner is screwing up again. He's not following through. Will you negotiate a third time? I would not. And remember, this is between individuals. But when we talk about countries, this kind of negotiation and then not following through with what you said you will do, that it could wipe a country off the map or lose territory. So it's more important than between me and a neighbor. The consequences are greater. So that's why you don't wait to wait for the other person like 5 times to make 5 mistakes, or not mistakes, not follow through 5 times. Even 2 times is already too much in the diplomatic terms. 2 times is already, but in 2 times your country could not exist maybe. So that's 4. Therefore, this is one impediment. We go back to 2014, 2015, the Minsk agreements. That's when it was written, signed. We're gonna do this. Ukraine and the territories, the eastern territories, with guarantors, with arbiters that said we're gonna make these guys, Ukrainians, do it. They didn't do anything. Anything that's in the, maybe not anything because I don't even know any details, but the main things were not even touched in 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. And then now the same entities. So the Ukrainians ignored it. Now the same entities met, not the same entity, Ukraine met with the Russians delegations on 2 occasions, right, or 2 or 3, televised, blah blah. One in Belarus, face to face, and one in Ankara, Turkey, correct? By Mr. Erdogan. He was the mediator, yes. So after that, the Ukrainians came and proposed, okay, we propose point A, B, C, D. We come with this. The Russians came with theirs, and then they say, okay, in principle, we are okay with that. They moved away, and the next day, the Ukrainians said, no, Russians, forget about what we said yesterday. Bye-bye. Why? Because their masters said, what are you talking about, Ukraine? Do you think you can do whatever you want? Smack. That's what happens. That's according to the Russians, which are sometimes liars, right? Anyway, nevertheless, the point is they didn't follow through with that at all. So that's, for me, at least, it's at least strike 2 from the Ukrainians. And now the Ukrainian, not the Ukrainian, my bad, Zelensky, Ukrainian. Anyway, Zelensky says that they don't wanna negotiate. I wouldn't negotiate with you either. You screw me 2 times. What do you expect? We play this game? No. Remember, they were talking about negotiating before the invasion, the special operation. And what did Lavrov say in Russia? No, we already negotiated 1 time, it's 2 times with the Minsk agreement. How many times you want to negotiate? That is negotiation. You sign it, do it. Why should we negotiate again? You sign again and you don't do it again? No. And then, oh my God, they don't want to negotiate. Now, from the Russian part, obviously, they said, we got 5 starting points. The other guy said, we're not going to even start negotiating with your 5, four starting points. The Russians said, well, we're going to achieve these things. If you don't agree with all these 4, we're not going to negotiate. And the guy said, no, we're not. We're not going to agree with that. Now, these guys say, no, you got to get out of Ukraine entirely, and then we start negotiation. Impossible for these guys. This guy says, no, there's no way, because these 4 things run against that thing with get out. So they will never negotiate like this. So it's who's going to have the power, able to hit the other one in the head, and then the other one says, oh, tap, stop. That's how it's going to end. Their demands from the very beginning, the points to start with they're like this. They don't meet. They're not gonna meet. The other thing is, I always say this, what Napoleon Bonaparte said about peace treaties. He said, I love peace as long as it's done on my terms. So the same thing with this. When I say, oh, he doesn't want to make peace. Oh, no, he doesn't want to make peace. Well, what are the conditions? Yeah, I want peace, but I want your house, I want your wife, I want your car, I want your banking account, I want everything. See? You don't want to have peace, then let's fight until I get them. You see how it goes? Yeah, so the terms, we all want peace, but what are the terms? The Arabs want peace, the Israeli want peace, the Palestinians want peace, but what are the conditions? That's the whole thing. They don't want to fight with one another. They want to take care of the kids. They want to live a decent life. They want to prosper, but under what terms? That territory, this water, that water. Yeah, so Zelensky, they don't want to negotiate. With you, you're already screwed up at least 2 times. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.